Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Royal Well, and Shalom to the brothers doing the work of sincerity and truth. Yeah, what's up on BBC News? And it really just shows you know, that energy Esau's trying to put out there. It's really the elites, because as far as when you come to these big media outlets, all of them are owned, by a select group on the top. You got, now you've got independent media through like the internet. But as far as when it comes to mainstream media, it's owned by a few select groups. And these guys have agendas, and those agendas get pushed out through their media groups. That's why there's that YouTube video that went around a while back, maybe like 5-6 years ago, fucking ages ago, where it showed a bunch of local, I think the majority of them were local news stations reporting on a certain incident, and they're all owned by the same guy, as far as I remember. And it's just like, it starts off with showing one of them reading off, like, obviously a teleprompt, and then it kind of zooms out over time and shows like maybe around 100 or a little over 100 different stations, all using the same script. Like, it just zooms out and shows all of them using the exact same wording, exact same lines, and repeating it. Why? Because how they report that incident, that was mandated from above, so they had to do as they're told. And that's kind of how these elites get down. There's certain vibrations that they require being pushed out, so they'll get them pushed out. So it says, what Microsoft's president Orwell's 1984 could happen in 2024. Even though they're saying 2024, really, the elites are trying to lock in, different systems, different protocols. Mainly that mark, that implantable chip that goes under the skin. That's the main one they're trying to do. But these guys are trying to execute their plans. So the life as depicted in George Orwell's 1984 could come to pass in 2024 if lawmakers don't protect the public against AI. Microsoft's president has warned. Speaking to BBC's Panorama, Brad Smith said it would be difficult to catch up with the rapidly advancing technology. The program explores China's increasing use of AI to monitor its citizens. Critics fear the state's dominance in the area could threaten democracy. Yeah. And that's, they're using China as that, new, on certain fronts, it's the new boogeyman, it's the new guy that gets brought up and painted as the enemy. But yeah, Russia in a lot of areas is still, the opponent. And the fuck is it called? And Iran as well, in the Middle East. So Iran and Syria as well are also seen as, enemies, priorities for Esau's system. So yeah, that's how they're painting it, as in, we need to combat against this. But it's for the elites, man, over here, those top banking families. They also desire this control, this power. Because why? That's why they're getting research done into it. That's why they're looking into it. Even though they're saying, blah, blah, blah. It's a very important thing that needs to be combated from China. They're saying develop those same things and in the West. And well, okay, let me read on. So it says could threaten democracy. It says if we don't enact the laws that will protect the public in the future, we're going to find the technology racing ahead, and it's going to be very difficult to catch up, Mr. Smith said. Actually, President Brad Smith. I'm constantly reminded of George Orwell's lessons in about 1984. You know, the fundamental story was about a government who could see what everyone did and hear everything that everyone said all the time. And, you know, it's funny because the fuck was I thinking about? Like with the Maxine, yeah, with the Maxine, yeah, there was a story that I believe I did a video. Well, yeah, I did a video on it where they mentioned that without notifying people, they were tracking their their data after they'd left for, I think it was a number of weeks. They were tracking them for a number of weeks, saying like they'll see where they're going. So just as you know, China's obviously at the cutting edge of these things and is pushing out heavily, but then it's going to be developed in the West as well, and it's going to be a big thing. That is what China's AI in certain parts of the world. Reality is increasingly catching up to the view of science fiction. He added, China's ambition is to become the world leading AI by 2030, and many consider its capabilities to be far beyond the EU. In 2019, China beat the US at the number of patents secured by academic institutions for innovation in AI and technologies. 54% of the world's 770 million CCTV cameras are in China, according to research by Comparitech. Let me read that again. 54% of the world's 770 million CCTV cameras are in China, according to research by Comparitech. Yeah. So the funny thing is, you know, being based in London, like London's one of the top locations in the world for CCTV as well, and they said like 54%. I was like, I'm wondering what percentage are in London as well, but it really shows that the West is in the, you know, it's in the same mode where it's like, you know, observing, tracking people. These things are not a marvel. It's being done even without people being notified. Because why? Because these, like Esau, the elites, you know, these elite families, they're looking for, you know, absolute and total control. That's what they dream and salivate over. Okay. So this is Eric Schmidt, former Google chief exec, who is now chair of the U.S. National Security Commission on AI, has warned that beating China in AI is imperative. We're in a geopolitical strategic conflict with China, he said. The way to win is to marshal enough forces together. No, marshal our resources together to have national and global strategies for the democracies to win in AI. You know, say the democracies. That's kind of, you know, the unifying point. now. But that's a system of the world, man. Um, says if we don't, we'll be looking at a future where other values will be imposed upon us. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Completely fleeing from the beast system. Okay. Dr. Lan Zhui, who advises the Chinese government, said facial recognition could prove tremendously helpful in identifying people in mass gatherings. If there is a major accident. Yeah, because even with said a major accident. It's yeah, that's what's this technology has been utilized for, man. Tracking people, tracing them, and making sure that with the program, you'll see the program now is the mark of the beast. Okay. It says that China indeed has made tremendous progress in technology development. Dr. Zhui added, the US feels that this is a threat and they wanted to start this Cold War on technology. Although China has huge differences in its values and politics, the country's vision of the world is not convergence, but coexistence. China does not seek to export its values, she added. Yeah. So it's them basically dancing around the table, waiting for who's gonna pull a serious move off and make some shit have to go down. But as far as this is Esau's rulership. It's what fucking hell. Revelation 20, where oh, Jesus. Revelation 20, where that what's it called? That little season for the devil to be loosed, because that's all it is. China's thinking about creeping up in the rulership. But this is that time for that that little season for Esau to run rampant, and then at its tail end, it's gonna be done. Yahushua is gonna make his return. But okay, you skip down. So this is what AI armed, and the thing is with these AIs is Esau's looking really the elites of Esau looking for control over the people, and basically like a information kind of network thing where you just have AI that basically allows Esau to operate on a higher level, because that's what this end goal is. And that's Esau's one only blessing. And now he's thinking like, oh, okay, well, can You can hold on. Can we read it from the top again? So it says, but the Department of Defense continues to seek partnerships in Silicon Valley in a bid to win the global AI arms race. Seth Moulton, chair of the U.S. Future of Defense Task Force, is urging tech companies to support the Department of Defense because we're in a race. And they're utilizing that fear of, oh, China's just going to lock you up. China's going to do X, Y, Z to justify, more being pushed out, more fucked up circumstances being accepted by the people. Because why? Because they're realizing, like, they're being overwhelmed at fear. Same thing with C-19 that's going around, where it's because of how things have been sold and marketed to the people, then they're fear wise, they're in terror. They're in awe of what's going down. But yeah, with these AI, there's a few things Esau's trying to achieve. You read this. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and a man has sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth. Well, that's the thing, is that son of perdition needs to be revealed. And, it's been revealed to be Esau. That's why all these things that he pushes and comes out with, line up with the scriptures, and they'll be like, hey, look, this is what this man's trying to achieve. So it says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he has the Most High, saith in the temple of the Most High, shown himself that he is the Most High. Yeah, so that pride of even trying to taking a role in the Most High, that's complete and total hubris and insanity. But these are things that Esau and his elites, they've what's the word, motivated themselves to try and take on these tasks. Um, what was it? Psalm 64 and 2, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who at their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their words. No, their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Yeah, so that's part of those secret councils, man. Shooting at the wicked, and that's the thing is, when it's behind closed doors, when these elites amongst those of their ilk, then their intentions become clear. And even just with seeing, the vibrations getting pushed out there, you can see what they're trying to work into the world. Because it's certain agendas like the LGBT agenda. These ones have been pushed onto Jake heavy, and it's the Maxine, and even all these different what's the word, like different systems like track and trace and whatnot to kind of keep an eye on the people, keep track of where they're going and what they're doing. These things are these are all what the elites have been leaning into for a while, and that's why you have, like you mentioned in the article about George Orwell 1984. Those stories are there because why? It's kind of a warning sign against when it's like, yo, if you kind of let shit run and you're ignorant to it, then that's how wild it's gonna get. And you've seen it take place, but it's more because of prophecy, and that's what it comes down to, man. Was he how Hashem Yahshua, Hashem Kadash. That's what's hey, the core, man. But yeah, that's what it's where Esau moves, his things his things that he pushes out. They're aimed at Jake, man. So-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Shalom.